All right, hey, everybody, my name is Manish Sethi. I'm the founder of Pavlok. We make wearable devices to help people with behavior change. Kendrick, do you mind introducing yourself?
My name is Kendrick Henderson. I'm a mental health patient. I have schizoaffective disorder, bipolar. And I actually was a patient at Albert Hospital, but before that I met Manish, and Manish gave me the Pavlok bracelet, and it actually helped me to overcome some of my problems, most of my problems that I was having.
Yeah, man. So Kendrick, do you remember the day that we met?
I remember the day, but not the date.
Yeah, so we met around like 9 p.m. like a month or two ago, right?
Yes.
And you were outside, you were asking for money, you were trying to get help to get home.
Yeah.
Do you mind telling me what you remember?
I remember being next to South Station and meeting you, and you had a thought about the Pavlok and suggesting that I would use it to better my my comfort and my mental health. And I remember we were talking, and you was telling me about how I would tap it, and it would help me. It would help to shock me to better myself, not to think about things. And it actually helped me for a month or so until I lost the bracelet.
Just hang on one sec. I'm having trouble here with technology. Okay, so yeah, do you mind if I tell the whole story that I remember too? Because if I recall, you were trying to get home. You had just left the hospital that you got put into for trying to commit suicide, right?
Yeah.
And do you mind if I ask how you tried?
I tried jumping out of a third floor window.
Okay. And then what happened right after?
I ended up getting up, and someone called the police and 911, and they picked me up in Worcester, somewhere on Main South, and they drugged me to UMass Medical Center, and they Section 12 me.
What's that mean?
Involuntary commitment into a psych hospital. And from there, I ended up signing out, and I got out and was in Boston and couldn't get back home.
And that's where I ran into you outside.
I ran into you outside, yes.
Yeah, so I took Kendrick back. This was a couple weeks ago, a month or so ago, and I had just watched this video on Reddit where someone told about the life of somebody with schizophrenia, what it's like a day in the life of. And Kendrick has paranoid schizophrenia. If I recall, you have a voice in the back of your head that tells you to do stuff.
Yeah.
Or you had voice, at least. And I watched this video. This person wakes up in the morning, and on the right, there's a woman's voice, and she says, "Don't pick up the phone. Don't do it." And on the left a guy's voice pops in, and he's like, "I think he's going to pick up the phone." And I watched this video, and I saw that it was scary, but I also understood that it really reminded me of all of the negative thoughts people that we've helped with Pavlok. Basically, that the voices in the brain were just different people's voices, but everybody has a voice in their brain. It seems like everybody has a voice that talks to them, and often it's your own voice. It's like, hey, you're not good enough, or you're not smart enough, or you should have done this, or you should have done that. But with schizophrenic patients, that voice changes to being somebody else's voice. And I've seen this video, and I instantly searched online for aversion therapy treatment of schizophrenia. And I found a study, which I'll post somewhere, hopefully I'm able to show you a picture of it. But basically, they had brought people in who had problems with self-violent behaviors. And the people before, the case studies show that after a week or two of using a mild electric shock for bad habits and a positive reminder for good habits, that many of the symptoms went away, and most of the positive symptoms became more positive. And so instantly when I met you, I remember seeing a couple things that were pretty clear to me. Number one is that you had this habit of shaking, of like standing and going left and right on both feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do it now. I do it now because I don't know. It's
just a habit.
Habit.
Yeah, and it's also, it felt to me when I talked to you that it was a symptom of nervousness, but also asking for help. it was like tough for you to ask for something, and that it would trigger this nervousness. And then you told me that you essentially just don't do much. You kind of sit in a room, and for the last several years, right?
Yes.
Not much external voice stimuli from other people.
Yeah.
And if you imagine a regular person, right, like many people talk to other people all day, and so we have human interaction. So the voice in our brain is calm because we have external stimuli. But if you sit alone for a long time, well, that voice might change after a few years. And I think that's what happens with a lot of paranoid schizophrenic patients.
Yeah.
Do you mind describing to me, before you met me, like what the paranoid schizophrenic, they diagnosed you with it. What did you feel in your brain without any drugs?
I felt scared, alone, always paranoid, thinking people were following me all the time. I couldn't concentrate, the majority of, the time that, I've been diagnosed with schizoaffective bipolar disorder. And it scared me a lot, to the point where I didn't trust people. Mm-hmm. I didn't trust myself.
Tell me more about the delusions of the paranoid in your mind.
I used to basically I used to hear so many voices telling me that people were out to get me, that I was worthless, and that I should kill myself, and that I was off a lot. It's just it makes you where you just can't concentrate. That you're always nervous. You're always on edge. And like, there's things that happen to me, like even when I'm asleep sometimes, like I wake up in cold sweats thinking, like I had a dream the other day that I was being chased and by some people I didn't know. And when I woke up from the dream, I woke up in the hospital. I was in the hospital at Arbor Hospital in Jamaica Plain. And I went to the staff and I told them that I was having these dreams, and they basically gave me some comfort meds to try to help, but it didn't help. I stayed up the rest of that night, agitated, worried, scared, confused.
Can you tell me about what drugs do they give you?
They gave me Haldol, Depakote, and I forget the other name of the other medication they gave me.
And so, when you typically go in to the hospitals, or what do they do?
They basically give you psych meds to help you. They have one-on-one counseling. They have group counseling. They try to get you set up to go back out in society, to make sure that you're okay, that you're not gonna, commit suicide or any other, known schizoaffective bipolar disorder actions where you might assault somebody or assault yourself in any way, form, or fashion. They keep you there till they think that you're safe and that you're not in harm's way of yourself or anyone else. So
tell me about what happened after the night I gave you a Pavlok. So to be clear, when I met you, Kendrick, I told you that that number one, you're not broken, that there's nothing wrong with you. It's just a function of a habit of a conversation in your brain that is hard to get out of, and that there's a habit of your hands and legs doing stuff, and there's nervousness, but there's nothing wrong with you as a person. It's just that you don't have the tools or the societal, infrastructure to help you. And so what I recommended to him was that he simply wear the device. You can set this. So what Pavlok does is it vibrates, beeps, and releases a small zap. And I taught him how to use the zap feature. When you press the button, it gives you, this one, for example, it gives me a slight zap that kind of startles me and stops me from thinking about what I'm thinking. It's really useful for things like stopping nail biting, reducing cravings, even getting a song that's stuck in your head out of your head. And I felt like it might be very helpful for you because you have voices or delusions or thoughts or whatever they are, things that you need to stop. Right? And so I told him, you can set the strength by tapping this thing. And I said, set the strength to what you want, put it on, and whenever you catch yourself in one of those bad states, just press the button. Yeah. And so, if you want to put this on now. You got big wrists, man.
Yeah, man. I got hands like Snicker bars.
What Snicker bars are you getting? That's huge. I need to have fingers like Snicker bars, man. Oh, man, I could use a Snickers anyway. This interview is paid for by Snickers, the corporation. I'm just kidding. So Kendrick, so tell me, when you got the Pavlok, how did you use it?
I used it basically every time that I was thinking or feeling worried or confused or agitated. I would use it, and it would help me to not feel the thoughts and feelings that I was feeling at the time.
Sure. So can you give me an example, maybe something you remember?
Okay. 3 weeks ago, almost a month ago, I was actually feeling like I wanted to assault a family member, and before I reacted on it, I tapped the Pavlok on my wrist, and it helped me to realize that, that if I do assault this person, that I would probably be locked up, and that it was wrong for me to even feel that way. It was my dad that I actually wanted to assault.
Was he near you?
He was near me, yeah.
And so you pressed the button when you had these feelings of assault.
Yeah.
And it like reduced the emotion and helped you think?
Helped me think and realize that,
cool.
that was wrong. But it wasn't nothing that she did, it was me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tapped the button and it shocked me. I did it a second time, and it helped me to understand, and it brought me back down to reality to know and understand that that's wrong.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so how long did it take before you felt back to reality?
Couple minutes.
Did you press this a few times until you felt better?
Until I felt better, yes.
And then what did you do after?
I went home. I actually went home, and I called my dad afterwards, and I told him what I was feeling and how I was about to react. And when I tapped it, he says, "Well, I'm your dad. You need to respect me. You might not like the things that I did or done, but you have to respect me because I'm your father." And I says, "I know that." And he picked me up the next day, and we went out. We had something to eat.
Really?
Yeah, we had something to eat. We talked for the first time in a long time. And I usually don't talk to him for the things that he's done, but I know that every person needs to be forgiven for their wrongs. And
whoa. Have you talked to him since?
I haven't talked to him since. He's not in Massachusetts. He just came up to visit.
Do you feel good about what happened?
Yes, I do.
Dude, that's good for you, man.
I do feel good.
That's wow. Wow. I don't even know how to respond to that. Wow. Okay. Well, so have you told? Shit, I don't usually feel emotions. Shit, I'm not feeling emotions right now. How did you tell your doctors or anybody about the device?
I told my psychiatrist, and she had said to me that a lot of times that a lot of things that she could remember from sessions that I had, that I make a lot of impulsive decisions. She says that I'm really impulsive. Matter of fact, she even asked me if she could leave the door open to the room in our session because she was worried that I might react in the wrong way.
Uh-huh.
And I said, sure, and it still makes me a little uncomfortable that, she doesn't trust me.
Yeah.
And, but like I said to her, I said, before I react, I'll tell her how I'm feeling. But it just worries me that she's worried that I might do anything to her or someone else.
But did you mention the Pavlok to her?
I mentioned it to her.
What did she say?
And she says, well, if it helps you, keep using it. But she also wanted me to stay on my meds, and I told her that the meds is just making me it's making me too edgy, and I feel like the meds don't work too good.
Do you think that the Pavlok works better than the meds?
I think, believe me and trust me, it works better than having the meds. You know, because the meds sedate me.
The meds sedate.
The meds sedate me, and the Pavlok actually just it helps me to come back to reality, let me know that things are gonna be okay. I remember you was telling me it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I remember that the first day I met you. Everything's gonna be okay.
It's all good, man. Nothing's wrong. This has been a great chat. I don't even know what to say. Do you mind? I wanted to show people. I don't know if it happens automatically, but I'm really don't press the button yet. I wanted to see if you could stand up and just show how your like nervousness thing.
Oh, my nervousness thing.
Yeah. So this is what I noticed quickly. I don't know if it's happening now. You seem pretty calm, actually.
Yeah, I'm calm.
It's like so
most of the time I'm bouncing back and forth like this, and
Though you can't see because he's doing it manually now, which is crazy. Because as soon as I saw you outside today, you were doing it. But I remember also when I had you stop doing it the first time, your eyes started twitching too. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
It's like a part of you is just changing. And so, I just wanted to record this video because, Kendrick, I met you and it was pretty, it's fucking crazy to see you again and to see, sit back down. But I just wanted to record this conversation because it's crazy to see you again and to hear your story. Can I get from you just what would you recommend?
So I recommend everyone that actually has schizoaffective bipolar disorder to try Pavlok. It helps. I suggest that you do it.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I know last time we tried to exchange numbers, and I guess there was a miscommunication. Yes. So I'll get it after this call, but we'll keep in contact.
Yes.
And guys, if you have any questions, this is a pretty powerful conversation for me because I think that there's a lot of people who are affected by really bad disorders, and there is a means to control it, and for some reason, people just don't. So they try to medicate you rather than giving you a tool that can snap you out of a negative thought and put you back in control and in the driver's seat of your own mind. And so if you have any questions, just email me or post a comment here. But Kendrick, thanks a lot, man.
You're welcome, and thank you. All right.